All right, what's going on, everybody? So I know it's been a while, and I apologize for that. Honestly, life has just been driving me crazy lately. Had a lot of stuff happening with school, but we should be back and ready to go. So I think we are in Amplifier C. If it turns out we are on A, then I'll make another video about A immediately. Let me know if there's something I missed, but that one should already be covered. If not, it just doesn't even need any updates. So starting with Amplifier C, we're going to head over here and cover this portion down this way. So, a lot of stuff I changed with this. Majority of it is the same. However, this block off down here, go ahead and destroy all of it. For those of you who built the old one, you remember I had tons of block off all throughout this part to stop them. I've done countless tests on this, and I know I've been gone for a while, so you might be like, yo, Soul, that doesn't work anymore. It works for me. I've tested it constantly, even ran a test right before making this video. If it doesn't work, feel free to keep the old block off or let me know in the comments. I'll give you a different piece of block off you can try. But we're going to go ahead and build this. Starting with the block off, go ahead and place a cone inside of this ramp. Oops, wrong way. And edit it up like so. Then I'm going to place a floor tile on top and edit out the corner to the southeast. And when we get to this ramp, you're going to place 2 cones in it and just edit them up like a ramp. Place anything with heals build attached. It could be healing pads, it could be floor spikes, whatever. The only reason we're putting this here is because on the tornado wave it might damage the builds. And also if a husk somehow gets through this and hits on this piece, we want to just basically heal it so that way it's not going to take any damage. Come up another tile. And we're going to basically make these 2 point in towards each other. So edit out those tiles like that. And then same idea, we're going to place these 2 floors, editing out the corner to where if you walk up, you get stopped right there. Alright? For the anti-airs, we're going to place 2 on either side of this. This should be plenty. You shouldn't need any more. If for whatever reason stuff is still breaking it, go ahead and add 1 or 2 extra just like there. I tested it, I don't need any, but meteor spawns and tornado spawns, all of that stuff can land pretty much anywhere. So if you need it, feel free to add it. This part right here, it originally extended all the way out until about here. I removed it because through my tests, we didn't need it. I left this one piece right here, however, with 2 dynamos, a wall dart behind, ceiling electrics, and then a ceiling zapper, just because I thought, we might as well keep that little bit of extra there, just in case something somehow makes it out. Nothing should, but you never know, something might. I also added tons of drop traps right there, but we will go over them in just a moment. Right? In terms of this lobber shield here, we're going to find this natural ramp where it goes down, and we're going to place 2 cones like that, edited up. We're going to come 1 tile over to the left, where we're going to see all of this block off that'll go over in just a second. Come up 1 tile, and then you're going to bring it all the way down until the edge of this natural terrain right here. That's going to be all we need for the lobber shield. Originally it was much bigger. I tested it. We don't even need that. Not too sure why I went with that originally. Then go ahead and place an anti-air up here. You could honestly put it anywhere here. You can add extra. That's just once again for those meteors. We don't want them to come down and end up breaking this lobber shield. If you have issues with somehow those 2 triangles are breaking, cones, whatever you want to call them, just add a floor piece anywhere on here to give it an extra connection. Alright, let's go ahead and hop down. All of this terrible terrain that you see will go ahead and come up here. I was originally testing a piece of block off that would basically stop the husks from pathing up here in general. It works for the most part, however occasionally it would stop working. So it was something along the lines of... or not quite. But anyways, it didn't work 100%, so I got rid of it. There's no need in keeping something if it's not going to work consistently. So, if you're having issues, you can always add an extra piece right here, just for a little more block off. If you decide to do that, then you can also end up removing that cone. For me, I tested it, and I can start the block off right here, so I might as well save the extra structures. Go ahead and place 2 wall spikes with heals build attached. The rest of them don't really matter, but if you're worried about killing the husklings, then go ahead and do a crit build. 2 crit rating, crit damage, and then that heals build attached will do just fine. Behind it, we're going to place 2 cones facing in towards each other. So the one on the left goes to the southeast, the one on the right goes to the northeast. Place 1 wall behind that. You can add one here, but it's completely unnecessary. No husk is going to path this way, so save yourself the structure. We're then just going to place a wall there, a cone, a wall, and a cone. You could add an extra wall behind here, but from my testing, we didn't need it, so save the extra structure. There we go, get myself out of there. And then that extremely easy block off. Before we build this main tunnel area, because it gets a little confusing, we're going to finish off the block off. So if we head this way, next to this natural ramp that just kind of leads into the mountain, don't know why that's there, place 2 walls and those same wall spikes with heels build attached. This is completely optional. You don't really need this. However, I added this because occasionally a flinger came up this way. At the top of the ramp, you're going to place a wall spike with a window in it. And just to show you guys, the top of the natural ramp is right there. You're going to put a ceiling electric on the top of the ramp. That way it can shoot through that windowed wall. A cone on top for extra safety, but you honestly don't need that cone. And then you're going to put a ceiling drop trap right here. This one should be this one right here. Crit rating, crit damage, reload speed, and durability. Nothing for insane damage, but it is going to do a lot just to kind of roll them back this way, reset their pathing, and make them go through the tunnel. Also, if anything decides to be stupid and keep going that way, that's going to kill them. Okay. That's pretty much it. You'll notice there's a natural ramp this way. I didn't block it off because that's just overkill. Same for this ramp. No need to block that off. However, once we go behind this cone and the ceiling electrics we put, there's going to be a natural ramp. Head on up here and we're going to place 2 walls like so with wall dynamos. Hop behind here and we're going to go 2 cones facing the southeast like so, and encase them in fully. Just a little piece of block off so that way if a flinger or something makes it up here, it doesn't walk this way and go through. The only thing that should really make it up here is going to be a flinger, no husklings or anything like that, because our AFK spot is over that way. So that way when they try to follow the tunnel to get to us, they're going to go up this ramp, go through there, and then, you know, follow the pathing like everything else. Right? On this other natural ramp, this is a part of the actual path, but I will show you that later. You're going to have a wall at the bottom. You're going to place a floor with the 2 tiles to the north edited out, and then a cone like so. You can add a wall here, but for my testing, you don't need it. Even these 2 pieces right here are a little overkill, but I did them just to be safe. Right? Then we're going to place a stair or a cone, either works. And once again, anything with heals build attached. Doesn't matter what the trap is, just needs to heal it. Then we're going to place another floor, edit the 2 tiles to the south. Same thing, just repeat that at the top. Right? So that way, if a flinger somehow makes it up here, because this is the path they want to take, they'll come around this way. We have a floor freeze and 2 dynamos like so. That's just right at this little hole right here for the ramp. Go forward another tile, we have a wall dart, wall dynamo, and a floor freeze at the bottom. Nothing is going to make it past this, but we just have this stuff as a little extra precaution. The other thing it's going to work for is this other direction for south. Once again, shouldn't be used, but I've seen 1 or 2 uses, so we might as well build it just to be safe. And this little corner right here before the natural ramp, we're going to go ahead and place a cone facing the southeast, place a wall, and then a floor at the top of the ramp. The other thing you could do is just place a stair here. That's going to be extra precaution, but nothing should be trying to go through that anyways, so you should be fine. This wall right here is a little bit of extra safety just so nothing glitches on this ramp and gets through. Don't need it, you could get rid of it, but I kept it just to be safe. You'll notice a lot of things, some are a little extra just to be safe. I don't want to screw things up. But after that, it just goes straight to the amplifier. Nothing's going to make it through there, I can promise you that. If it does, it's something with your trap durability. Let me know, I'll give you guys a workaround for it, and I kind of expand things. If you don't have good trap durability, I would tell you just stick with the old build that we have, because that one works 100% for low trap durability. Now, for this stuff, it's a little iffy. I'll show you right here. You can place the wall, and then some traps are going to let you place inside of it. If you wait too long, it's not going to let you place it. So you have to put down the wall, and then the trap right after. So, for these sound walls, you just want to make sure it has 2 times reload, and then the rest durability. You can do heals build attached, but it's completely optional. And do not go 1 reload speed because we're not staggering it, so we want to get as many uses as possible so that way we get rid of all of those propanes. Going up the ramp, we have one up at the top, and this one should be the single use, or I'm sorry, single reload speed. Oh, it's not. Oh, sorry, I forgot I got rid of the schematic for that one. 2 reload speed, all durability, get rid of the heals build attached. I forgot I changed the schematic once I added that one, so it's a little iffy. It works. Honestly, you could go either way, but if you're struggling with your trap durability, I would tell you 100% go with that right there. Right? Once again, we're going to do the same thing up here, and then we're going to have a wall launcher there. I'm not too sure why there is a... Hold on, let me get rid of that. You should not one bit have a trap on that piece right there. You're going to need that floor as a connecting tile, but you should not have a trap on that. I apologize for that. I don't know why I had one there. I also broke this tile here, so sorry guys, I got to replace that. But we have that same sound wall, and then you'll notice behind that sound wall is that block off I was telling you guys about. This portion right here, you don't need anything. If a husk drops down into that, they're just going to walk this way. Notice they can't go there. Come right back. Never had an issue with them breaking that, though. Right here, you're going to place a wooden floor spike with all durability. You can either use the blue ones or a 77 gold. The whole reason we're using these lower ones is so that way we're not actually damaging the husks. We want to do as little damage as possible, but also have as much uses as possible so we can keep them slowed while they walk across. Right here, you can have a wall launcher. And this one, you could go any route. I would recommend that you go with a 3x impact, 2 reload speed, and 1 durability. Simply because there's no restraint, so it'll knock them all the way down here. You could also use a 2x or a 1x impact, but do not use anything with 0. It's simply not going to knock them far enough. However, on the other side, these through here, we are going to want to be those no impact wall launchers. And I'll show you why in just a second. So right here, you're going to want to do 2 reload speed, all durability. With this, you're going to knock the husks down to a route here, so they have to walk all the way up. If you launch them crazy far to right here, now they have a shorter path to walk across. If you're worried about smashes or anything, you're perfectly fine. Don't stress it. These are going to get knocked off anyways because of these short balls here. If these happen to aggro the smashers or propanes, go ahead and remove them. However, keep them if you can because the smashers will just sit on the edge and get pushed off. If you do have to remove those, still don't worry about it. These wall lights here are going to push the smashers off for good. Nothing should ever even make it to this tile right here if your trap durability is good. If you're struggling with trap durability, make sure you're incorporating durability everywhere that you can so these traps can last as long as possible. For these right here, we are going to want to put on... Sorry, gotta find them. Now, this one right here. You can do either all impact and effect duration, or you can go with 3x impact, 2 reload speed, and effect duration. I personally went with the 3x impact because that's plenty to knock something off, and that way it also gets you the faster reload. So for example, if a husk somehow makes it here by following that smasher, it's going to get pushed off as well because that's reloading rather quickly. For this wall launcher right here, same idea. You're going to end up doing that 1x impact. Now you might say, yo, Soul, if I hit something, it lands right here. Can't it now just walk this path and go across? Well, a husk can't fit on this, so it won't. It'll just drop straight down. However, if you are worried about something coming up here and, cheating the system in any way, it's not going to. Don't stress it. But you can always just simply add a wall right there, and that fixes any problem you might have. Now, alright. Whoops. I hate using Soaring Mantis, but I gotta do it for you guys. We're gonna place this stair right here. Go forwards, and then to the left to angle it just like so. We're then also gonna have a wall light at the top. It's completely optional. You don't need this. I added this as a little extra thing, but you could get rid of this if you don't want it. It's going to be the same perks as these, 3x impact, 2 reload speed, and effect duration, or you could go with the 5x. Honestly, if you are going to keep this, I'd recommend you instead have this be an empty wall, and then place the wall light right here so it's actually pushing them back. This isn't going to do too much. It's only going to do anything for smashers. So if you do want to add it, place it 1 tile down. I'm just too lazy to adjust it, and we have enough tiles anyways. Okay. Then I mentioned this part. We're going to place a tar pit, low walls like so, on either side for dynamos. On the far right, we're going to place a wall dart, ceiling electric, ceiling zapper, ceiling electric. That's just a little bit of overkill. Say a smasher somehow gets through. It's not, but if it does, it'll die that way. And then we need to build all of these tire drops that you see here. These are 3 tiles, so you're going to get them to have the most impact, but also most damage. We do not want these to do damage, and I'll show you why in a second. Or I'll show you, what the perks are in a second. It is going to be these right here, with 3 durability and 2 reload speed, 0 upgrade on the physical. Everything else can be legendary, but do not upgrade the element. This is going to let it do bare minimum damage, so when we put it this high, all it's doing is stunning the husks, and because of where that propane tank is, it's pushing them off. So say, for example, these wall launchers burn out. They have no more uses. Those are now going to be able to push stuff off. The other thing, if this is currently timed out, it's reloading, that tire drop is going to knock it off as well. It's just a little thing to get some extra use out of it all. So for this, we're going to attach it to the ceiling zapper, go 1, 2 tiles out, and then just extend this 3 tiles long. The only ones we're going to put tire drops on is the ones above this path. The rest are going to be empty just as a lobber shield. Nothing should make it to this point here, but for example, say a lobber somehow gets here. That's going to help with it a little bit. It's also going to help with the flinger sitting right here trying to throw. The other thing, if you're having lobbers little, like almost bugged throwing stuff still, then you can remove those floor tiles and just extend ramp or stairs over, so that way the lobbers can't throw. I ended up going with the flat floors because I noticed no lobbers were making it on that platform anyways, and that also just gives me extra spots to put some anti-airs. Throw down 3, maybe 4 of these and you should be good to go. It doesn't really matter where you place them, it's just a matter of where your meteorites keep falling. See, is it meteorites or is it meteors? Honestly, who cares? Same thing. You guys get what I'm saying. Now, come up to this blue or low-level gold spike that we placed, right where the wall launcher and sound wall are. We're going to place 1 tile there, nothing on it, and then the rest of these are going to be those same tire drops. We're going to go 1, 2 tiles forwards where we're in this little crevice right here, and then turn to face north. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 more to the east, and then just fill that in so you have a nice little square right here. Now, I am going to double check these because I forgot my notes, and I want to make sure I'm telling you all the right perks. Yeah, so these are just those all durability, or 3 durability and 2 reload speed again. You could switch these out for something that does damage, but you're immediately going to notice more flingers and smashers are spawning. You could get rid of these as well. The old build worked perfectly fine without those. However, I added them because I know most of you guys don't have max trap durability. So by me adding those, now you're getting way less usage on these wall launchers until the later waves, and it's going to make it a lot easier. That also lets us remove that crazy hectic tunnel that came all the way down here and took up like easily more than 20 structures. So now we're just reincorporating it down here. It's not really saving builds, but it is making the builds get more use. Alright, so we'll go over the amp build real quick. Nothing has changed on it, but just real quick for you guys. Starting in the far northwest corner, you're going to box it in on walls on every side but north, and then you're going to place a ramp edited up. We're then going to place 3 walls in the northeast corner going towards the north, and we're not going to have any traps on any of those. Starting in the the southeast corner, place 2 tiles like so, hop over the wall, and then on the south side, coming off of this, we're going to place 1 wall. On that wall, we're going to have a wall dart, and I will show you all the perks for it. Bingo. Crit rating, crit damage, reload speed, durability. You can use something else that does more damage. I just have that, because that's what I had at the time. I would recommend you change this to a crit build simply because what we're doing is trying to damage a mini boss and Harmony Smashers that make it out with a little HP. You can get rid of that reload speed for extra damage. Personal preference though. Next, place a cone right next to it to the west and edit out the corner to the southeast. We're then hopping over to the southwest corner of the amplifier, placing a wall dart facing the south, wall to the west, and then another cone just edited towards the south. That's it for the build. Everything should sit down here and just stall, but if a mini boss gets glitched and starts hitting stuff, there's enough structures for it to just never actually break it all, so everything is still going to path towards this amplifier down here. Honestly, I tell everybody, there is no reason to build a loot bridge in Canny Valley. It's extremely overkill. Please don't do it. You're just wasting your structures. Now, for this side, though, it is a little more complicated. I had a couple of changes to the side, mainly in the first portion of the build, but I think I went back later and changed a lot of it at the end as well. So, starting here, we're going to start next to this amplifier, edit out the corners of the southeast and southwest for these two cones. That's just a little extra block off. You can add some cones or some walls like so, but I've never seen any difference with adding them, so I've removed them. We're then going to place 3 walls across with wall darts. Right here, we're going to place these 2 sound walls on the side, so we're essentially creating a box around the amplifier. These sound walls and wall darts are the same perks as before, however, these ones add the heals builds attached. So 2 reload speed, 3 durability, and heals builds attached, because there's tons and tons and tons of propanes that spawn on this amplifier. And what you're going to notice, this is pretty much a symmetrical build. We're doing the same 2 sound walls right there. Then we're going to leave 1 open gap, sound wall, and then that wall spike from before. Crit build wall spike on that with heals build attached. On the other side, we're going to leave a space, sound wall, and then we have to do 2 wall spikes just because it's a little bit longer over on this side. Come to this natural ramp here. We're going to place 2 walls at the top with wall dynamos. Those perks are going to be these right here: crit rating, crit damage, durability. You could also do reload speed, which I have on these right here, but you don't really need it. We just want to kill whatever sits here trying to break through. All right. On the back of these wall dynamos, you're going to put a wall spike, and then right next to this, like kind of peak almost, we're going to put a cone facing towards the southwest. That's all of the block off. All of the pathing to force the husks into these 2 tunnels. So with that, we're going to hop into the tunnel and start building the rest of it. After we have the tunnel built, I'll show you guys the rest of the block off because it makes it a little easier to understand. Once again, everything's symmetrical. We're going to go with the wooden floor spikes, either the blue or the low-level gold with all durability. 1 tile to the west, and we're going to place a wall and 2 sound walls. One of these needs to be 2 reload speed, rest durability. The other 1 reload speed and the rest durability. For this wall launcher here, it's going to be a 0 impact wall launcher. So you can go 2 reload speed and all durability. It's going to knock them in here. They get staggered by these 2. Make sure we're getting rid of all of the propanes. Come forward a tile. It's a floor freeze. Low wall with a dynamo. And then a windowed wall with a dynamo on the right. We're going to go with a gas trap above us, which is going to be these perks right here. Effect duration is the most important one because that floor freeze is holding them there. And I'll show you with this floor freeze, it also has effect duration. It's just going to hold them there longer, so they're basically getting tanked more and more. Right here. Effect duration, 2 reload speed, all durability on the floor freeze. Alright. To the left, we're going to have a wall dart. And then we're going to have a cone facing towards the southeast. And then we're going to surround that in walls. Go forward a tile, we have a ceiling zapper, which all of those ceiling zappers are going to have heavy hitting perks. Actually, it should be 140 now. There we go. Crit rating, crit damage, crit damage, and durability. On the right, that same wall launcher from before, and a tar pit. That's going to launch him in this kill box, where we have a ceiling electric, 2 broadsides, the wall dart, and a retractable floor spike. Right, and forward another tile. wall dart on the right, wall launcher on the front, and then you're going to do this pillar right here. If for whatever reason smashers are charging or propanes are blowing up at this point, go ahead and remove this pillar. However, for me it doesn't happen, so I kept this pillar to give him an extra walking distance. Same ceiling zapper above, and then we turn a tile to the west. Same wall launcher, wall dynamo, or wall dart. Doesn't matter, personal preference. If you do a wall dart, make sure it has reload speed, because that way you can hit them when they're out here faster. Ceiling zapper above, and a floor freeze below. You can also go with a tar pit there, but I don't see anything charging, so you should be fine. Alright, next we're going to come to the very, very front, because we've got to build the other side. Alright, same perks, everything's going to be pretty much the exact same. Place a floor with a wooden floor spike, the wall launcher, knock them in, so that way you have this little box right here to stagger them with the sound walls. The other thing I forgot to mention, make sure you have 2 tiles right here. I'll show you guys when we build the other stuff, but those are really important. Place a floor freeze on the bottom, windowed wall on the left with a dynamo, low wall on the right with a dynamo, and then we do that same cone, this time to the southwest, wall dart behind. Forward to tile, we have a tar pit, we have the wall launcher, ceiling zapper, knocking them into a box with a retractable, broadside, wall dart, another broadside, and a CEF. Come forward another tile, you've got a wall dart, ceiling zapper, wall launcher, tar pit. So you guys, it's pretty much identical. There's slight changes. Same pillars, remove these if smashers are charging, but I've never had the issue, so I keep them. Then we're going to go with the floor freeze, or you can go with the tar pit, same idea. This one, I would say go with the wall dynamo no matter what. You could do the wall dart, but everything's dropping down after this, so you're not really going to see any extra use from a wall dart outside of that portion there. And then the same wall launcher, kind of sending them back to try and recycle them as much as possible. Alright. Now we have to come into this little middle portion here, and you're going to notice it's literally just repetition. Until we get to the very front here, where the amplifier is, it's wall, cone facing up, wall, cone, and wall until we get to the very, very end. That's just to stop any husks from wanting to go through that middle portion. It's extra stuff to force them into the tunnels. The only block off outside of that is these 2 cones that I already mentioned, and then the stuff over here to the right, and the stuff to the left. Starting on the left because it's a lot less. We're going to be at the very, very edge here. Edit this down to show you guys. We're going to have a cone right here next to the tunnel, facing towards the southwest. Surround that in walls. And then 1 tile to the east, we're on this edge. We're going to place another cone facing to the southwest, surrounded in walls. You could honestly knock out this one right here to the east, but I decided to leave it in because I didn't really see any difference with or without it, so I might as well play it safe. Go to the south of tile, and we're going to place 2 cones facing to the southeast. This one should already be placed from when we built the tunnel, and then surround those in walls. Leave this one open because there's already natural terrain blocking that off. Alright, go forwards a tile, and then you'll notice, oops, it wants to let me go inside of there. We have another cone facing the southeast. This wall dart should not be here, so do not place that. Just place a normal wall there. Alright, and then another tile facing southeast, surround that one in walls as well. Just gonna go ahead and upgrade that real quick. Alright, now that we're at the end, go ahead and place an anti-air right here. That's on top of the floor next to the wall launcher. This is just for meteors that may land over on this amp. We want to really keep everything intact. Place 2 walls forwards, and that's going to be for when we connect the tire drops above. Right here, this is the tunnel. You can see there. Place 2 more walls. And then right here, we're going to put an anti-air. 3 of them in the middle portion. Right? You can honestly add these anti-airs wherever you want. Just make sure you are adding enough anti-airs so that way when the meteors come, they are getting destroyed. Because if this stuff starts to break, we're going to have huge issues. I've never had to do any meteor baits, but if you have to because one lands in the middle of the tunnel, build a stair like so, floor, stair like so, and then floor and cone. That's just going to make sure any time a meteor or the big meteor lands, if it's going to hit any of this, it'll just break on the spot. So for example, if it's landing here, down there, or over there, you can do that very same stuff. All right. Heading over to the right, we've got another anti-air. Once again, just put them wherever you can. We're going to start next to this wall launcher, cone facing towards the southeast. Then we're going to hop one towards the north, same cone, surrounded in walls. Another cone surrounded in walls, and then I put an anti-air on top of that one. Going a tile to the south, we're going to place cones facing towards the southwest, cone southwest, and another one to the southwest. You're going to notice all of this is pretty much in line with the sound wall and wall spikes that we placed before. So I used those as a nice guide to make building this block off a lot easier. Another tile to the west, this is the last one. To the southwest, go ahead and put a healed wall spike on this right here if you haven't already. That's because that is the wall dynamo, which I'll show you right there. Hop to the north, we're going to build another one surrounded in walls. Hop to the north, and final one surrounded in walls. Once again, that's all just block off to make sure any husks are actually feeding into the tunnels that we built. For this quick little lava shield here, we're going to just place a cone, then edit the 3 tiles on this one up, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tiles all the way over. That'll put us at the edge of this natural terrain right here. It's also the edge of this little bump. Before I had some walls here or a extra cone, that way I could block it off. Honestly, nothing should be throwing it through that crack anyways. If they are, feel free to add that. Alright. Now we're going to head back over to this corner. We built these wall dynamos here, so we're going to keep going to the left, hop down. We're going to place a wall spike with a normal wall. 2, 3 windowed walls with wall spikes. And then next to this natural terrain, we're going to move forward a spot so we can go wall dart on the right, 2 ceiling electrics above, and then 2 wall spikes on those walls there. That's just to make sure any husks that are trying to come this way, either for home base or for Amplifier C, are getting stopped. You should have all of this built from for the home base, but I think a few things might have changed. Go with 2 anti-airs right here just to be extra safe about lobbers. And then behind all of these windowed walls, we're going to go cone facing the southwest. Surround that in walls, and we're going to put 3 wall darts on the back with 2 normal cones just facing towards the west. You can add a wall here, but it's completely optional. You don't need that. But what you do need is to add this stair right here and then have a floor right above it. So you'll notice this final cone that we built on the edge is where that is. It's right above this natural ramp. I forgot to mention that. Sorry guys if you were a little confused, but southwest, under that we have this floor. Under that we have the natural ramp with the stair inside of it. Alright, and then once again, all of this should be built from home base already, but just in case it isn't, we're going to hop down this way. 2 floors with ceiling electrics. Make sure these have heals builds attached. It's very, very important. You can use, honestly, the same perks as long as there's heals builds attached on those. Place 2 cones like so. Surround the whole thing in walls. Leave out the west side, though, because any husks that want to drop back this way are just stupid. Let them do it. It makes no difference to your build. Okay. Then we're going to connect to this stuff in home base. Right where this natural terrain is right here, the 2x2. We're going to place 2, 4 floors and then 2 ramps like so. I didn't notice that you had to have anything different, but if you have a lobber trying to squeeze some shots through there, then just move the stairs 1 tile back and add some extra floors. And that's pretty much it. I'll go ahead and edit this all, get it out to you guys, but I do have to ask a huge favor. A lot of people have been viewing the videos lately, even though I haven't been posting. And honestly, YouTube says we've got like 90% or something like that aren't subscribed. Most of our viewers, I love you guys so much. Thank you for the support. But most of you are not subscribed. So if you could do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button. Honestly, hit the notification bell while you're down there or the like button. It would help me out so much. We're so close to 1,000. And once I hit 1,000, remember, we got that V-Buck giveaway coming. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, Thank you so much for watching, and of course, feel free to let me know if anything goes wrong. And here's the rest of that playlist so far in the top right.